What up, everyone, and welcome to the Social Room, where strategic networking meets insightful business conversations. I'm your host, Aiden Snell, and this show is designed to connect you with business leaders, visionaries, and entrepreneurs who are not only crushing it and making waves within their industries, but who might also just share the game that can take you to the next level. In each episode, we'll explore the stories of these business owners and how they're impacting lives. Who knows? You might just find your next big opportunity right here on this episode. So sit back, tune in, and let's get social. All right, guys, today we are joined by the one and only Will Reynoso, who is a South Florida commercial broker. Will, how are you doing today, man?
Good, man. How's everything on your side?
Blessed, man. I cannot complain. God is good. Woke up today, so, we win
I hear
it.
you.
We
I
win
hear
it.
you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Will. Where are you from? What are you passionate about?
Sure, I'm a Miami native, Dominican background. One of the few natives
Bet.
out here in South Florida. Everyone's migrated from somewhere else, but from Miami, attended the University of Miami. I'm everything Miami, so that's me. That's my background in terms of location. I've been a broker here in South Florida for about 14 years, going on my 15 year. I
Oh,
specialize in commercial, bankruptcy type insolvency deals. Yeah, so that's what I do.
that's amazing, man. Wow. Well, Will, super happy to have you on the show on this episode. To start
Thanks
off,
for
we're gonna
having
get
me.
right. Yeah, absolutely. To start off, we're gonna get right into what I call the Power Five. I'm gonna ask you five power questions. You're gonna give me your best answers, no pressure. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. Question number one: what's been your most valuable lesson from failure, Will?
Just pick yourself up, man. I'm an introvert by nature, and I always saw me not being so social as a failure, but it's not. I've learned how to harness my introvertedness and use observation as a stepping stone and an advantage over others.
That's good. I love that, man. If you had to start over, what's the first thing you'd do differently?
I probably wouldn't go to college. I'll tell you that much. I think college kind of brainwashes you or sets you up where you have to think in the box. Whereas I've over the years I had to step out of the box and get out of that college mentality. Believe it or not, especially being a broker, you don't need the college background.
Mm. What's the best investment you've made in your business?
Myself, marketing more recently, marketing in social media. I'm super busy right now after I started just promoting myself on social media. So that's been a good investment.
That's amazing, man. If you could master one skill, what would it be and why?
Relationships, building relationships. I think longevity, especially in this business, is harnessing relationships and being able to tap in on that and just becoming friendly and knowing your client and them knowing you goes a long way.
Nice. And last question, what's been your proudest moment in business so far?
Proudest moment in business. Just seeing my progression year to year. Looking back 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't see myself where I am now. When I graduated, that's when the economy tanked and I was laid off, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So, just seeing my growth is it gives me joy.
Let's go, man. That's awesome. Well, bro, you crushed it. Easy peasy, simple answers, effective. Those are some power answers to those power questions, man. I love it. Let's dive deeper into your journey as a South Florida commercial broker, Will. So, tell me about how you got started in this industry, right? You've been in it for almost 15 years now. That's amazing. How did you get started? What made you want to get involved in this industry?
So originally I wanted to be an architect. I've always loved designing properties, things of that sort. I did a year of architecture in college, like I mentioned at the University of Miami. I switched to finance with a concentration in real estate. So I learned pretty much how to calculate NOIs and cap rates and things of that sort in college. And then just when I graduated, I just fell into the brokerage and been going at it since.
That's amazing. Cool, man. And tell me about like the people that you're helping right now, right? Within doing commercial, within your industry, right?
and doing commercial real estate. Tell me about like what is it exactly that you're helping out with and the audience that you're serving.
Sure. So, my main book of business comes from bankrupt business owners. I specialize in bankruptcies, insolvency deals. So my main client base is number one, attorneys that refer me to their bankruptcy clients,
Mm,
and just dealing with people in bankruptcy. You have to have a soft spot, a soft heart for them, because they're coming out of a grave situation. So that's mainly my main. I had to manage those type of clients, and then on top of that, the buyers of the properties I'm selling or businesses I'm selling, I also have to educate them on the bankruptcy process. So it's like a two-tier process. So yeah, that's my client, and then the buyers I have to deal with those properties.
got you. So it's like helping out the person who's filing for bankruptcy transition, and then also educating the buyer on that property that is filed for bankruptcy.
Correct.
So that's
Correct.
that's the main audience. That's awesome. Tell me about like their pain points, their problems, other than, you know, as a result of really them having to file for bankruptcy, right? What is it that they're struggling with that they really come to you for help with?
A lot of them come with this, you know, emotional tie to either their business or their property. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of bankruptcy clients have an image of what their property is worth, which is usually overvalued in their mind. So speaking reality to them, and when you're bankruptcy, sometimes you're on a time crunch. um, we have to price the properties or the businesses at the right price. Secure lenders come, they foreclose. Judges put strict deadlines, so
Mm,
it's just working with them and showing them what reality is versus what they want to believe, or that conception they have of what their property is actually worth.
mm, that's good. Are there any pain points, any problems that you feel like they face?
Problems, yeah, financial, time, um, and they have a time period that they need to sell by. Those are the major two.
Got you. Got you, got you, got you. Okay, cool. Um, what happens if you feel like they ignore these pain points, these problems? Like, what happens to them? What happens in their life? How does this impact them?
Well, if there is equity in the property and they don't meet the deadlines or a price point where it needs to be at, um, the secured creditor or lender, or bank takes possession, and they end up getting zero equity, and it's worse. Whereas you have more business-minded clients where they know what we need to do, and we work together to get that accomplished. In those situations, they usually walk away with some type of equity, um, which is really good in a bankruptcy type situation.
Got you. Yeah, that would be like worst case scenario, right? You invest your time and energy and money into a property and then it gets taken. Have you ever seen a case like that?
Too many.
Oh
15
man.
years, I've seen it all.
Ah man, that's rough, bro. I can't even imagine how somebody would feel. That's rough, man. You
Yeah,
think
and sometimes in insolvency situations, it's not always bankruptcy. Sometimes it's two business partners that can't get along,
oh
and
wow.
they fight and they sue each other. And the judge says, "Well, since you guys can't make decisions, I'm going to appoint a receiver." And the receiver steps in the shoes of the owner, and they make all the decisions. The receiver hires me as a broker, and then I work directly with the receiver. I also work with the two partners or three or however many they are, um, just to get historical information and knowledge on the property. But sometimes in a solvency situation, the business can be profitable, the asset might be generating positive cash flow, but even situations where you just don't get along creates a situation that, I mean, if they would just work together and just walk away with money, rather than fighting, not paying the loan, then a foreclosure action is filed, and then now you're paying default interest on the loan, and it just domino effect. So
Yeah.
I've seen that type of situation as well.
Yikes. That's hard. That's hard, man. I'm curious to know, how do you balance being in an industry where you deal with so much like negativity and like sorrow, sadness, emotion, but you get paid for it, right? Like, how do you balance that?
So I focus on big deals. So I'll be working one, two, maybe three deals at the most at the same time, and I'm just focusing on that deal. Also, my faith takes me a long way, just trusting in God, and sometimes you just gotta pray it out, man. Because sometimes, I mean, I don't know if you can see these grades, but I've definitely earned them.
Yeah.
But yeah, faith comes a long way. Just trusting in God, and just my family backs me up. I have a very supportive wife, and just going home and seeing my three kids and keeping them busy, which in turn keeps me busy as well. It's just a balancing act that I've so far been able to manage.
That's
Um,
awesome, bro.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. You know, when God's in it, if God brings you the vision, if God brings you the dream, he'll get you through it, right?
Yes, sir.
I
Starts
love
off with what your shirt says, salvation, my guy.
it. Amen. Amen. I love that, man. Can you tell me about like a really impactful client success story and how you were able to really transform that client's life?
I have a few. I'm actually working with one now. We haven't hit the milestone yet, but this is a situation where the father was running the company. He passed. The daughters took over. COVID hit. Family started disputing. They had to shut down the business. Took out a huge loan on their industrial property. Cross collateralized their primary residence, and they were facing foreclosure against not only the industrial property but their home, which was paid off. Everything was set up by the father. Um, Now we're in a situation where I have three competing bids. It looks like we're gonna get about $1 million more than they were expecting, and we should know the court should approve that sale. I believe it's like May 12th. So hopefully I'll have good news then, and we can move to closing, and they can sort of have a reset all the drama they've been going through for the past 4 or 5 years. So that's just an example. She's 80 years old. One of the daughters is legally deaf. The other daughter that was also helping run the business, also died during COVID. So it's just been a lot of death, a lot of fighting, and then now this bankruptcy situation they're going through.
Yeah, yikes. Well, how do you feel like that you coming in and helping? How do you feel that that really is going to transform their lives?
I mean, I speak positivity to them all the time. Sometimes they call me crying. I have to forget business and just be a person. And then just helping them financially, in the long run, they're going to walk away with, possibly 500K to $1 million, where they can do a soft reset. She's 81, and she can just live the rest of her life in peace. So that's the goal, and I think that's the value I've added, as where some of us brokers are just business minded, and if we're not making the money, we're moving on. There was maybe 2 or 3 chances where I could have walked away from this deal because it almost didn't happen, but I just stuck through it, and
Wow.
now we're in a good position.
That's awesome, man. I love that. I love that. I love that. Well, awesome, bro. How can people work with you, Will? Where can they find you?
So my IG is Will the Broker. Just shoot me a DM. I answer all my DMs, especially business related, and yeah, just we can set up a conversation there and move on from there. I don't only do bankruptcy deals. I also do typical traditional sales, commercial and residential. I have a team behind me. I can assign any deal to one of my agents, or if you want to deal directly with me, I'm always open and willing to do it.
Amazing, Will. Any last words for the audience?
Just trust in God. Ask for foresight. That's my main prayer, to just give me foresight. The economy is getting rough right now, or at least it looks that way. We got to depend on a higher being and not on our government, and just stay the course. Stay the course.
Let's go. That's awesome, man. Well, appreciate you for joining us on this episode, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate you.
And that is a wrap on this episode of The Social Room. I hope you found some great insights and maybe even some potential opportunities and ideas. Remember, the connections you make today could be the game changers of tomorrow. If you're interested in continuing the conversation or exploring potential partnerships, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Stay tuned until next time.